Hello and welcome to In Isolation, episode number 7, UK Climbing's competition climbing chat show. I'm Charlie Bosco, joined as ever by Natalie Berry and Mike Langley, and very special guest and 5-time World Cup winner, Stefano Ghisolfi. That's right, 5.
Hi, yes, that's right.
I didn't even check, I just knew.
Good guess.
It wasn't a guess. Stefano, you've been in lockdown for quite a while now. Italy was hit really hard with it. What is life like right now in Arco? Can you climb outside? What are the restrictions?
Yes, everything was closed for 2 months, and since the 4th of May, we are allowed to go to do sports outside. That includes climbing. So I already went 3 times in this 1.5 week. And it was a pretty amazing start again, climbing again on rocks.
You were very vocal on your social media about the lockdown, and the situation in Italy is, northern Italy, especially where you're based, has been absolutely tragic. And it's, for many, I know for myself, following you on Instagram, it's your feed has been really inspirational to keep everybody in the loop and making sure everyone's really aware of how serious the corona situation has been, as it started so badly in Italy. And you made it fun for people on your social media. And how did people react to kind of a lot of the fun things that you were doing on there? You did some crazy stuff, and it's been keeping people entertained.
Yes, I tried to both show the responsibility that everybody has to have in this period, but I also want to entertain people with fun challenges and fun climbing trainings, and people were really had a really great time to trying my challenge, because everybody was kind of bored at home for a lot of time. So I think that was helpful for a lot of people, I hope. And it was even helpful for me, because I had time to be creative and to pass time having fun with some hard and fun challenges, both of them.
I especially like the chocolate carabiner. I'm assuming it was chocolate. But anyway, eating the carabiner, that was awesome.
Yeah, well, it was chocolate, yeah.
Either that or you got really good teeth.
Yeah, no, it was okay. It was very good.
I think you invented the banana lock challenge. Tell us a bit about that. How did that come about?
Yes, it was more like a fun challenge, not a real challenge. It was to eat a whole banana, like hanging with one arm locked at 90 degrees.
Questa è la Banana Lock Challenge. Anche una ronchia, una sbarra. Bloccate 90 e dovete mangiarla tutta. La buttate per terra.
And it was not so easy, but it was repeated a lot of time. A lot of people sent me some videos of them trying to do it. Some of them were able to do it. Some of them just like went off like this at a half banana.
I'm guessing when lockdown started, I expected to see you in Moscow. You had the big motivation of the Olympics, but obviously the tripartite commission quota place was given to Misha Pokoroaz since lockdown began, and that means Italy has 2 men at the Olympics, and that means you can't go to the Olympics. What was that like, and how do you feel about it now? It seems from social media like you have quite a good perspective on it.
Yes, the beginning was a hard hit for me, because I invested a lot of time last year competing and training in all 3 disciplines to try to qualify. And I hope that I had my last chance in Moscow, and I hope even until it was postponed, because I knew I had still one chance. Maybe it was it is supposed to be in October now.
It's been rescheduled, yeah, the first week of October.
Yeah, so I hoped to have another chance, but then the tripartite commission decided, and I was a bit disappointed. But at the same time, I know that the situation even bigger than this thing, and even the Olympics were delayed or postponed, and so then I figure out I just have to find other goals that I already have. So it was hard at the beginning, but then I find my way to find new goals and new climbing projects.
And when you look back on Hachioji and Toulouse, what are your reflections on those two events?
I was close to qualify, not super close, because in Hachioji I did a bad qualification round in the combined formula, and I was a bit closer in Toulouse. I was 12, and I just needed a good speed time to qualify, and I missed the one foothold in the speed qualification. So I was a bit disappointed that I didn't qualify, but I knew that also my strength is lead climbing, and the other two disciplines are I'm not very strong at speed climbing and not super strong in boulder. I just have to maybe do the right competition for me with the right boulders, and like in Meiringen last year I was in the semifinal because I climbed well with a boulder that fitted my style, but I know I'm not super good in combined as I'm good in lead climbing. So I'm disappointed, but in some ways I know if I'm in the first five in the world in lead climbing, it doesn't mean I'm in the first 20 in combined.
You done so well over the last few years in the lead competition. Then this whole Olympic combined thing came about. How did you find the journey of taking on the challenge of the combined?
It was a hard decision. At the beginning, I was not so sure if I want to try to qualify for the Olympics, because it was totally a total change of training and habits, because I need to start training in bouldering and speed climbing. Mostly was the weirdest thing for me was speed climbing, because I stopped competing in speed climbing when I was in a youth categories. So it was hard to begin again. And at the beginning, I was not so sure if I wanted to compete or not in this combined. And then I decided I was ready, and I think I trained quite well. I was able to do a personal record of 7:34 in speed. It is not the best time ever, but quite good for me. And I improve a lot in bouldering, especially in slabs and in coordination moves boulder that I was not the best climber of this kind. And I tried to keep fit in lead climbing, and maybe that was the hardest thing, to keep the good shape in lead climbing, training in all three disciplines.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that actually, because last season, watching you on the lead wall, you didn't look like the old Stefano on the lead wall. Do you think the combined training really had a negative effect on your lead climbing?
Yes, I think it affects me as it affects the others too. But the main thing is changing the competition season. I think changed a lot my lead shapes, because I didn't have so much time to train lead as I wanted, because bouldering season started very early in April last year. So in for example 2018 in April, May, and June I was training in full mode for lead climbing. So I kind of lost 3 months of lead training, and this I think I felt a lot in the first competitions of the year.
It seems like there's a real depth on the Italian team. You've got you, Misha, and Ludo, who are all specialists in speed, lead, or boulder. What's the team dynamic like on Team Italy? Do you learn from each other?
Yes, last year we trained a lot together. We did a lot of national meetings, and we learn a lot one from each other, because everyone is a specialist in different discipline. And yes, Ludo was training mostly in speed, and Misha mostly in bouldering. And training together was good to improve in the other discipline and even in our own discipline, because we can learn, for example, from a guy that is doing only bouldering, how fast it is going on a lead route. And I'm a bit slow, so I think I improve a bit in this style, and I try to find my rhythm in climbing. And the teamwork, I think it worked pretty well for all of us.
Talking about the team, did the Italian Federation, change the way that the Italian athletes were allowed to compete once the combined and the Olympic slots came up to grabs? We didn't see much of Gabri Moroni in recent times. Was that all part of the goal of driving towards the Olympics?
Yes, the Italian Federation chose our team of 5 people. So we were me, Misha Picoruas, Ludovico Fossali, Marcello Bombardi, and Francesco Vettorata, and Laura Rogora for the women category. So we were the Olympic team, and we were the goal for the national team was to qualify for the Olympics. And since for the World Cup the maximum number of competitors for each country is 5, we filled that quota. So in the male category, so everyone who wanted to compete in like, for example, just bouldering competition or lead competition had some problems, because the quota was already filled with a team of 5.
Now that you can't qualify for Tokyo 2020, are you interested in going for Paris 2024? Because speed will be split off from boulder and lead.
Yeah, I think will be a good goal, but I still don't know, because for now the focus will be only lead, because I don't even know if we will be able to compete. But the goal will be training for lead, some rock climbing for the moment, and maybe adding just one discipline like bouldering would be not a big problem. So I think I will try for Paris 2024, but yeah, I will decide maybe next year. I will do probably 1 or 2 years just lead climbing, and then decide.
Don't forget the banana skills in those next couple of years as well. I mean, that could be really useful.
Yeah, I think in the next Olympics there could be the banana discipline.
Olympic banana walk.
Sorry, carry on.
That's fine. Always there with the heavyweight questions.
Just bringing it down a bit.
You mentioned outdoor climbing, and obviously you live in Arco, so Mike is now dying of jealousy.
Yeah, my favourite town.
You climb outdoors a lot. Do you think that gives you a bit more perspective on the competitions? Do you think it gives you an advantage to people that just compete?
Oh yes, I think I always thought that rock climbing for me helped a lot for competition too, because even for the mind, because I know I have always everything to train for, and some other goals. For example, if a competition goes bad, I know I have maybe a rock project or something in my mind that helps me with the mind and with the morals. So I think he helped me a lot. Even if I'm nervous for a competition, then I think okay, when I'm finished with this, I can go rock climbing, and then it relax me a bit. And I think it was very helpful in these years, and now will be even more helpful, because competition are even more uncertain. So I will keep training with the same motivation as last year, because I know that I have some goals and very close to my home.
You finished 2019 with that 3rd place in Inzai, Japan. It was a great way to finish the season, and you must have been looking forward to 2020 season quite a lot, as were so many people. But did you have a bit of a plan for this year as to what you were thinking of attending?
Yeah, I used to have a plan until Moscow.
Then so did I.
Yeah, everybody think the big plans that didn't happen. But yes, I think my plan will be to train now and rock climbing around here until the region and the countries are locked. So I will train in my garage. I will rock climbing in Arco and in Trentino in general. And yes, if competition will be held in October or on autumn, I think I will compete in lead World Cups, all of them. If I know already some in Switzerland are cancelled, but the other ones are just postponed. So I hope something will happen in the future. But I'm not that optimistic, and I believe everything will be postponed in 2021. But I hope something will happen this year too.
Yeah, it feels like quite a long time ago that we had a lead World Cup. But what do you think of the route setting? There's been quite a lot of tops or results coming down to time. Do you think the style and the level of the lead routes are appropriate in 2019? Not that there's been any in 2020.
Yeah, sure. In the World Cups, I think they were quite good. The only competition I have to complain about it was Toulouse last year, because we were 4 guys topping the route. It was me, Adam, Sasha Lehmann, and Alberto Gines. And it was a pity, because it was my only chance to show my my good shape in lead climbing, and then we all 4 topped the route, and I felt like I didn't have the chance to show my best, because I topped the route. It was a bit pumped, but not completely pumped. So I think I had something more to show, but maybe I would end up 4th or something. But I didn't care, because I wanted to fight on the route, and I didn't have the chance to fight.
In the big picture of the IFSC, the federation, if you could change one thing, and we've asked a few people on the interviews about this, if you could change one thing about the IFSC, this is your chance to spill the beans. What would you go for?
Yeah, I think I would change this rule for at the beginning. So I think time in lead climbing shouldn't be that important, even with ties. And I still don't know alternative, because a super final it was in the past year was very long and very boring for the audience and for the climber too. But I think the time limit, not the time limit, the time when we are tied, for example, is a big limit, because it's a I have a different style from other guys. Like Adam climbs very fast. I'm climbing really slow, but not because I'm slow or because I'm worse, but just because it's my style. I want to rest as much as I can, and this on rocks is not a problem. Even if you rest more because you want to be more fresh, you can. And I think in lead climbing should be the same. If we are tied, the time wouldn't be. It shouldn't be the making of results.
Does that even affect the difference between 8 minutes going down to the 6 minutes?
I think that is not a bad decision, because 8 minutes was a long time, and with the style that is now coming up is not that bad, because it's faster even for the climbers in isolation, for the spectators. And 6 minutes is enough to do a route of 40 or 50 moves. So I think that is good. 6 minutes are enough. I never finished the time in 6 minutes. No, I finished just one time in qualification in Imst. The wall was huge, and the routes were very long. So the only time I finished time was there, but I never had a problem of this type.
Of all your wins and podium places, which would you say holds the most satisfaction or is the most memorable for you? You seem to climb really well in China and Asian competitions, I noticed.
Yeah, I did a lot of podium and victories in China. But I think the best podium for me, the best victory was in Chamonix 2018, because it was Chamonix is a special place for everybody, but for me too, because it's quite close to Italy. So all my family, my trainer, my girlfriend, everybody was there in that moment. And it was quite close to Turin, the city where I was born. So a lot of friends came to cheer me up, and winning there in that place with the huge crowd was I think was the best competition I ever did.
I remember that was a crazy night, and then the year before it was Marcello.
Yes, it was 3 years in a row with Italian winning in Chamonix, so it was 2 crazy years.
Just thinking about the near future now, lockdown is beginning to ease. What are your outdoor climbing plans?
Oh yes.
Do you have anything any projects you can tell us?
Yes, I can tell you. It's not a secret. This morning I went to adjust some balls on a new project that I'm trying. That is a connection between 2 historical projects. That the 2 historical routes are already repeated. One is Sant'Anger in Eremo di San Paolo, is here in Arco. We went to biking there. It's 20 minutes biking, very close. And the other project is the other route is Zauberfeed, which I did last Friday. Both are 8C plus 9A, and I think the connection of the two that take the both hardest part of the two should be from 9A or maybe 9A plus. I have to try all the moves, but I think is really cool. And another project that I would like to try is the King Line in Lagel. It is the hardest version of the Queen Line, that is 9B. So we know we tried with the Adam. So we both know it's already between 9B plus or maybe harder. But the problem now is the area, the crag is in private ground, so everything is closed. Even if the lockdown finish, the crag will be closed anyway. So we are trying to find a deal with the owner to try to be allowed to climb there again, because this is probably the hardest project here or in Italy.
Sounds like pretty inspiring stuff. And luckily with such hard routes, there won't exactly be a queue at the bottom. So social distancing won't be a problem there by the sounds of it. But for those people in other countries where they're still in lockdown, they're at home, you seem to deal with that situation so well. Can you give any advice for people who are at home still staring at their fingerboard, just thinking, come on, no, I'm just desperate to get out the house now?
Yeah, I see your fingerboard behind you now.
Yeah, it's not much chalk on it.
Yeah,
a lot of dust.
Yeah, not good. So yeah, I think the motivation has to come when you think you will be able to go outside. So I had these routes in my mind, and I always train because I knew that when I was able to climb again, I wanted to be as fit as possible to go outside. So my advice is to be ready, to keep training, to be ready when you will be able to travel again and go climbing again.
It's good advice. Hopefully it's not too long.
Yeah, hopefully. But in Italy it was 2 months, and I think in the other country will be around this time.
But you have a good perspective. It could be worse things happen than a break from climbing.
Yeah, I know. Climbing it was not my priority in this month. The priority was to be safe, to be healthy, and to stay home. So if you think about this, climbing is not a priority, then I think it will be easier to train and to start climbing, because you are not rushing. You don't want to rush to go climbing. You just take your time, maybe 1 or 2 hours per day, and maybe not every day to climbing. And I think everything will be easy if you focus on the things that are the priority, that are other than climbing in this moment.
That's perfect. So it's really nice sentiment, and it's nice to hear someone who's as experienced and successful as you say that.
Thank you. Even for me, that is my job to climb. I think there are some other important things.
Yeah, for sure. It's my job to talk about it, but it's there are other things in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, really appreciate you taking the time. And whenever I ask you at a World Cup, if you have 5 minutes for an interview, you always take time, and I always appreciate it. And I appreciate it this evening. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And hopefully, will you compete in Moscow still if it happens?
Yeah, I will compete in lead climbing.
Okay. Well, hopefully we see you there, but who knows?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, see you there.
Thanks, man. Speak soon.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you very much. Bye. Speak soon.